Glorious Tuesday right here, and it's time to talk. It's Crossing Lines. Your boy Donnie Rightside right here, Jeff Nadu, and we got you for the next hour and a half. The hottest topics, the best takes, all right here. And also, some gambling tips, some advice, some fun here, Jeff. It's what we do, man. I'm feeling good about today's show. How about you, brother?
Yeah, feeling great, man. Always got a lot to talk about.
Give me a
You and
little
I,
applause.
people behind the scenes, always got some good things for us to talk about. Baseball, you got the World
Yeah.
Cup. Donnie, we're going to talk about the hottest fans in the
Oh,
world. I'm
yeah.
going to give you my top
Yeah.
five. We got a lot to get into.
By the way, I assume this is, because we do have female fans out there, Jeff. You're doing hottest fan bases, both guys and girls, right? Is that correct?
No,
No. Come on. Be
no,
fair with the people out there,
I'm just
Jeff. Come
doing
on.
women. No, I'm not into men, so I'm going to do the women. Get a gay guy on here. He
Yeah.
can do the.
Yeah, we have to ask a couple people here to pop on the show and give the hottest fan bases there for the men. But by the way, this is Crossing Lines. This is your show to watch. You already know that. Noon Eastern every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern to 1:30 for the time being. As the summer rolls around, huge things on the horizon. But Jeff, as we always like to point out, I'm watching right now on YouTube. Chat box popping already. Yesterday, we came into the show around 280 subs. Today, before the show started, 299. Every day, that's got to go higher. So if you're watching for the first time, whether it's live right now or you're watching the replay, hit the subscribe button, click the positive, negative comments. We love to hear it, Jeff, but the support from the community is integral for us growing the show and bringing the best possible product to the people, Jeff. I know you're out there pumping. I see every single day mixing up on Twitter, and we're just building that foundation as we go.
One of the hardest things to do, Donnie, in content is to build a successful YouTube brand. It's not easy.
Nope.
You essentially need to take people from one place to another. And a lot of people don't have the interest in doing that. So it's hard to do it. You got to build, you got to come back every day. The best way to grow in content is to be consistent. If you do it every day, good things will come. Donnie, I remember when I started the sit down.
Yeah.
Nobody watched it.
Yep.
Now, every night I go to the poker room, someone comes up to me and says, holy shit, I watched the sit down. Holy shit, I saw this video. All you got to do is build. Good things will come. And look, as you alluded to, we talk about it time and time again. Stick around. Fall's going to be great.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, there's no better partnership to talk about football than you and me. So I'm excited about it.
Flows right into everything, Jeff. And this is where you earn your money, right? In the summer months, where most people, camera goes live. Oh no, what are we going to talk about? Trust me, we got you covered all summer long with a lot of fun. And also the chat box. I have a dedicated screen in front of me, Jeff, just for the chat box. Shout it out, Francisco, coaches out there. P got picks. Let's go. By the way, says actually able to catch us on a live episode. Well, it's live episode number 2. Guan White's out there. So the boys are ready and gals in the chat box, and we got some hot topics to get to all the way through, Jeff. And by the way, let me just ask you, because I told you already, I love the World Cup. I get excited about this. We're going to get into the games individual a little bit later and certainly go back on what happened yesterday. But everything yesterday, Jeff, all ties at the end of regulation at this point. How has Jeff Nadu been enjoying this World Cup?
Good. It's nice to have it on. Yeah, it's nice to have it on during the day. I'll be honest. It was a weird thing yesterday because we were watching, the game was on, but we were doing this show. You figured and felt like Spain would get a goal, 2, maybe 3. They didn't get any. Pretty unbelievable. A goalless draw. Donnie, if you wagered $100 on 4 draws yesterday, take a guess what the payout would have been.
It got to be astronomical just because how the heck were you going to get a draw in the heavy favorite game? What are we talking about? 200 to 1, 250, like higher? What was it?
Not quite. $100 would have bought you back about 77K. Not a bad, not a bad day's work, at least for what is that, 8-10 hours of work. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I mean, look, you got to give a lot of credit to Saudi Arabia. I mean, they went up 1-0. Uruguay's a good side. It's been an interesting World Cup, and I'm interested to talk to Mina about some of the big teams. Obviously we got some more big teams today, the defending champs. You have France as well. Do these big teams continue to struggle? And Donnie, I have to ask,
go.
Is it possible that the U.S.
come on
maybe could
come
win?
Come on?
I gotta say, I mean,
come on!
Out of all the teams so far, I mean, how can you not be impressed with what they've done? I mean, for anybody that says Nadu hates America, he never says anything good about the U.S. Well, here you go. Could they actually look? I'm looking at their odds. They're about 30-1, but I mean, are them in Germany the two teams that maybe we just forgot about a little bit? We'll
Come on,
see.
man. Balogun, Jeff. Every time. Back of the net. Back of the net, maybe. Look at Jeff waking up, betting against Team USA, game number 1, maybe betting for them. But you know what I do hate about the World Cup? And it's nothing wrong. It's just the way it plays out. Same thing in the NFL. I loved watching Team USA play their first game. And immediately, like Jeff, I go, it's Friday night. Monday, when did they play again? Monday? Tuesday? I got to wait a whole week to watch the boys out there, Jeff. It's too long for me.
Well, this is the problem. I mean, you have 48 teams. I mean, everybody's got to play. So I will say, man, it is cool to see all these different fan bases in these different cities. Donnie, have you followed this dude, right? They got him on Twitter, this Freddie guy that's been posting.
Yes.
I have a theory about
Get the people updated, Jeff, if they haven't heard about this. It's pretty intriguing.
So there's a lot of obviously, Europeans and South Americans and everybody coming over here. And you got these people discovering America for the first time. And there's one guy in particular, this guy, Freddie, I'll get his account, Freddie SA7.
Not Freddie Adu, right?
No, his name is at Freddie LA7. This guy just
where he's
posts
at now?
Yeah, all day about different restaurants, different places he's going. And all of a sudden, now these celebrities are inviting him to hang out places. I got a theory that he's actually American and he's just getting all this free shit. That would be something an American would do.
By the way, on that too, Jeff, did they just fly him out to the Cirque in Vegas as well in like a private jet? Like, I think he's getting that much pub right now.
I don't know if they.
He's like the authority.
I think that was offered to him. I don't know if he actually has followed up with Derek Stevens on it, but yeah, I mean, it's his account. He's got like 640K already. Yeah. So, look, it's a wild world, but Americans figuring out how gluttonous this country is quickly.
Very much, yeah.
He has for sure.
By the way, I thought you were going to go nationwide. Did you ever go nationwide and do the food reviews? Like you said, you had a whole planned out trip. Is that coming forward here? Can we cover that throughout the summer?
Well, I've put a few out already, Donnie. You may have missed it already.
No, I've seen it before. I'm talking about you going to like St. Louis and, way out west. I saw the plan.
So last year I was going to drive across the country. And I mean, again, it's a lot easier to fly, Donnie. You want to do it. Then it's like, well, do I really want to drive from Pennsylvania to California? That doesn't seem that appetizing when I really get into it.
No, it doesn't. Other hot topics here, Jeff, as just to start off the show, just if you haven't watched it or known, we talked extensively, Jeff. Have you heard this story? UFC 250. We're going to get into some nonsense that was covered along a lot of outlets yesterday, which Jeff and I are going to give our opinions on. Not the fights themselves, Jeff, but what happened after the fight. So stay tuned for that. But also, did you know the FBI uncovered, Jeff, that there was supposed to be a wave of drone attacks at the events to hit the buildings to get the people out of their seats and funnel them into an area where there would be possible snipers, Jeff? Did you hear about that, where they uncovered that a couple days ago?
No, I'm not surprised by it, though. I mean, there's all sorts of things that go on, people planning stuff. And this is why, look, I mean, at the end of the day, the NSA, the CIA, they're very good at their jobs. They flush these people out. But this has been going on for years. I mean, before it was, Islamic terrorism, then it was your domestic people. You got the Eric Rudolphs of the world. So, yeah, I mean, this has been going on for years. There's always going to be detractors. There's always going to be people looking to do things. But, look, the event went very well. I think you got to give a lot of credit to the administration for putting it on and making it go well.
And also, you couldn't have worked out any better with the fights themselves. You want to tune in to get knockouts. You are going to tune in and get knockouts at this point, Jeff. But we got some hot topics that we got to get to here. And none hotter, Jeff. I need your take. You love college football. I love college football. We are handicappers. We are gamblers. And we are not like, hey, it's nice that gambling's around. Jeff and I, old school, died in the 10 years old, placing wagers out here through our dads and through our brothers and through our uncles at this point. You see what's breaking on the screen right now? That's Brandon Sorsby. He's been in the news quite a bit. I'm not leaving. I gambled on my team. I'm coming back. I found a judge that's actually going to back me. Now you're finding out, Jeff. Oh, no. Other schools are saying we're going to sue you and get down the business here. So what does he? Takes his ball and goes, I'm going to the supplemental draft in the NFL. What is your thought process, Jeff, on what's taking place with Sorsby?
Well, he said himself that he just got tired of fighting. Look, he has to make the realization that he made some very bad decisions. Look, I talked about this last week during the Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf trial. I'm not trying to compare the two because they're not. Somebody lost their lives. But we see across it. You and I were both young once. A lot of people, everybody here was young once. We've all made horrifically bad decisions. Some of them can change our life forever. You could do a lot of bad things with the bad decision. My father used to tell me, Donnie, there's a lot of good kids in prison that made one bad decision. In this case, he ain't going to go to prison over it, but he's ruined his life. This is a guy who at one point, within the last few months, was one of the best transfers in college football.
Big money transfer.
He did some great things at Cincinnati, was a terrific quarterback. You look at a team at Texas Tech who last year was in, deep into the final, tournament there. Yeah, it sucks for him, but he has to kind of come to roost with his bad decisions. Brendan Sorsby is a guy who will likely play at some point in the NFL. I have to ask you, Donnie, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Reggie White was a supplemental player. Chris Carter was a supplemental player. We know they like to develop quarterbacks. Look, I think we'll see him at some point. But again, when you make a bad decision, you have to at some point pay for that bad decision. And it's coming home to roost for Brendan Sorsby. It sucks, but we're not talking about 1, 5, 10 bets. Donnie, he made 9,000 wagers.
And Jeff is right to a point on this. But for me, if you make mistakes, okay, you can come back to society. But sometimes you just can't play professional sports on that level. The one thing, Jeff, that the NFL and the NCAA is going to tell you when you turn that television on, this isn't fixed. This isn't rigged in one situation, which we all do and say, I can't even believe that ref's in the bag at this point. This is the reason why. Forget about Tim Donaghy back in the day. He was a ref in the bag. But if you're now talking about a quarterback, Jeff, that was already messing around in the gambling world saying, I'm going to cross that line and bet on my own team, who's to say, Jeff, that he couldn't be, again, just a straight-up degenerate bettor that eventually he gets to, and it certainly puts his team and also the shield of the NFL in a bad situation. Now, also understand this, Jeff. Sometimes you are only as good as the player you are and can stick with that organization. Patrick Mahomes goes out and gets into a domestic fight. You know what they're going to say, Jeff? They're sticking by this guy. Fourth-string quarterback on the practice squad, domestic violence charge, he's off the football team. Is Sorsby good enough to make an impact there? Or is it one of those, Jeff, where I look at the NFL, I'm an NFL team. You said the Eagles, I don't want this guy around. We don't need distractions from a guy that might not even ever play.
Well, I think that's being a bit unfair. I mean, he is still very young at the end of the day. Look, yes, he made bad decisions. I don't think a 22-year-old kid should, it tastes like this. He's very young. I don't think he should have to live with that decision forever. People grow up, people mature. As you said, though, and as I said, I mean, it's not just a few bets we're talking about here, and he made some mistakes. He played 9,000 wagers, some of which were on the team that he was actually on. So, yeah, it's definitely concerning. But I think we have to evolve as a society. I mean, look, when Pete Rose was doing it, gambling was strictly looked down upon. I mean, we've moved a long way. We have to be willing to adapt and edit some of these things. Look, am I saying that he should be able to play this year? No. I was surprised, though. I was wondering who would kind of swoop in. And, I mean, Texas Tech, if they wanted to, he could have played, no? I mean,
yeah, they were getting squeezed. They were getting squeezed from all angles because it was like Texas Tech would have loved them to play, but now you're getting lawsuits from the Big 12 themselves and also other schools canceling stuff that was scheduled with Texas Tech outside of football where they didn't want to sit. Because if you approve that, Jeff, what do we have left? Coaches, everybody gets away with everything. It used to be back in the past, the 1980s. They're getting a couple $100 a month in a Pell Grant scam for the Miami Hurricanes. They buried them. SMU was putting in envelopes, Jeff. Hey, nice game for $200. That's our payroll. They gave them the death penalty and kicked them off of television. But as we know, it all comes down to the money. You don't want to destroy a program, so they sort of look the other way. Hey, self-sanction yourself and do what you can. But when you're starting to get yourself down that walk of life where now, all right, if this quarterback can play and he's betting on games, let's just have coaches actively betting and tanking games, and it's legal, and if you catch up, it's not a big deal. I just see it, Jeff, as that slippery slope where that one bastion of success we don't have anymore that you can cross over. But also understand this. You brought up Pete Rose. And, Jeff, you've done a lot of mob stuff. You know what they talk about. The mob or let's just say the underworld, Jeff, is never going to approach you and go, you're favored by 14.5 points. Need you to win by 20. You can't make that happen. You're favored by 14.5 points. We need you to be so bad where you don't cover that spread because you can go 1 for 19 from the field. You can't guarantee going 19 of 20. And the reason I bring that is Pete Rose always told you, I always bet on my team. Do you think people are coming to Pete Rose saying, give me a winner tonight on the Reds? No. They will come to you and say, Pete, your starting pitcher, pull him in the second inning. Your 3 best hitters. Give them the night off out of nowhere. That's the info that they were looking for on Pete.
100%. But this is, again, why, for all you idiot bleeding hearts, gambling's bad. We shouldn't have it. This is the exact reason we have to stop with prohibition of things. The prohibition of things leads to no regulation. It leads to a lot of things where we don't have any governing body looking over it. We have to look back. In 1919, Donnie, this country made it illegal to sell alcohol, right? What did it create? An illegal market.
Yeah.
And eventually we saw a proliferation of a group called the Mafia. They became the Five Families and were eventually one of the most powerful criminal organizations in this country. Prohibition leads to illegal markets. And for years, this world, the Pete Rose, the baseball, and stuff, it was under the radar. Nobody was looking into it. Nobody cared about it. Now, all of a sudden, we have a group looking into this. And without regulation, we would not know that Brennan Sorsby's wagering on his own stuff. And you're right. You have to set an example. And their examples need to happen. In this case, that young kid playing at Iowa or Montana State or wherever the hell he is, he's going to think twice about, you know what? Maybe I'm just not going to get involved with this. It's not worth it. It sucks for him, but he's on the proverbial sword that needed to drop.
No, it did. And again, maybe this says, okay, kids, next time you do this, you just can't get away with it. Because we know the way it goes, Jeff. Somebody gets away with something, somebody else is going to press that envelope down even further. Like college football is already on shaky ground right now with what you can and can't do. And pro football players going to be coming back to college. We'll see if that's down the line. But the one thing you never could do was place wagers, let alone place wagers on your own football team, and then find the judge that goes, yeah, he's going to be fine. And we'll set the trial for February when the season's over.
Donnie, I hate to tell you, I mean, as you know, we've been on Twitter a long time. Yeah. I could probably get 5 or 6 hands the amount of college athletes that have contacted me about games. Hey, what do you like in baseball today? I look at their account, they're a left fielder for some college baseball team. So, yeah, I mean, this goes on. You can't stamp it out. You're always going to see young kids doing stuff. You just hope that it's not a problem. But 9,000 wagers, that's a lot of wagers, man, in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah. Screenshot, though. Send them out, Jeff. We're going to write a book with who you've talked about in the past. Like, forget about the sit-down that goes on YouTube, Jeff. We need to sit down the book edition in a couple years to see if that works out. Chat box popping out here. Absolutely love to see it going back and forth here. And again, it's a separate dedicated thing. I can now type myself in the chat box. So we're learning things as we go, Jeff. And also, Crossing Lines. You're watching on YouTube right now. You might be watching on Twitter, Kick, Rumble, wherever we're at. Show the support, show the love, like, follow, and come along and comment here along this ride. Jeff, I got a little special surprise story for you here today. Because it's not my musical genre, but I do find this couple very interesting. And that's Jelly Roll. And it's Bunny XO, Jeff. Divorced. Papers are in. They've been filed here. Do you know anything about Jelly Roll and Bunny XO? You got to know something, right, about them? We don't want me to explain.
Well, of course I do, Donnie. Yeah. Number one, to all you young men out there.
Go ahead. Preach.
We have to stop trying to take strippers and making them into real women. Stop trying to wake these women up. Stop trying to turn hoes into housewives. Enough with this. Stop doing it. And also, as a young man who lost weight, just like Jelly Roll, you get a newfound confidence.
Come on, you're right.
Speak
on it. Yeah.
You say to yourself, you know what? I got one girl, but I'm getting more attention from others, so I got to go. Listen, I don't understand any celebrity that gets married. I mean, you have the pick of the litter everywhere across the board. And look at him. Better looking guys, a rapper, country guy. Yep. Stop trying to take strippers. Stop trying to rescue them. The rescue fantasy don't work. Any woman that strips, there's a reason for it. She can't let it go. Stop trying to turn them into housewives.
By the way, you take a look at them. And she was on an interview, an extensive one, like 2 hours with Howard Stern a couple months ago. And I listened to it a couple times while I was in the car. She's very forward about her past, Jeff, working in the industry here, being an escort, being a stripper at clubs, and how they met. And you're right about this, too. Like, she met him when he was at his lowest. Way overweight, jail time, need to get my daughter back. Helps him out here. Now, granted, they both came from some interesting backgrounds here, and their marriage sort of worked here. But you're right about this. You look at Jelly Roll, the fresh teeth, now the success as a singer. Lost a ton of weight right here, making his moves, touring around the country, Jeff. The eyes wander, even though it looked like they had a pretty open relationship. And what do you think actually caught? Like, what was the divorce filed on? Like, they've been through everything from what they tell each other. How could
Donnie,
those two get divorced?
yeah, come on, Donnie, listen.
Come on, speak on it.
I can talk about this intimately because I was 350 pounds.
Okay? I know. The big men on campus.
Right. The level of women that you're getting then, comparing it to you lose a ton of weight, you look like a normal person, people want to be seen with you.
Yeah.
I already know and look, again, like the thing about this guy is if he was just a normal person who worked at an electrical company and he looked like that, the fact that he got her is a huge win.
Yeah.
But again, he's a country artist. He's a big time world guy. Everybody knows who he is. You can get a lot more. You lose weight. Also, again, she wasn't just a stripper. She was an escort.
Yes.
People paid her to have sex with her. She was a prostitute, period. Yes. Eventually you got to move on. Hey, I give him credit. I'm sure she'll find an older guy to mooch off of. It'll work out perfectly for her.
There you go. All you got to do is get that podcast game up. Now she got a little bit of fame, can certainly live on that. And
I will say, Donnie,
go ahead.
Her podcast is actually pretty good. She interviews.
It's straightforward.
People. Yeah.
Yes. It's no holds barred. You get somebody like that. I don't want to speak on my pet. Jeff, I'm telling you, I heard the interview. It's an open book all the way through, which again, for those two people, it just surprised me. It's like, well, why are they talking about jail? This is what we do, man. It's what we do. Sports, culture, chaos, and conversation. We're going to get into it in the people in chat box. You are. Yes.
If you're a young man, stop dating
from
strippers.
Jeff. Yeah. Stop dating them, Jeff. And they're going to take your money, spend it elsewhere on their new boo at this point. There's a good
woman that is a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or something.
Yeah. It's the way to do it. By the way, Jeff, love these topics here. Sorsby, little jelly roll action. But some of these top stories, which always include, Jeff, the World Cup. Yesterday, Spain, Cape Verde. Let's just speak on that. We were live on the show yesterday. Should have been an absolute runaway blowout, Jeff. But we saw a 0-0 draw. Do you know who the hero of Cape Verde is now? And also, Jeff, now an internet/social media superstar, apparently. It was their goalie, Jeff. Standing on his head, to use a hockey term. The man is gaining followers by then. You're going to see him on Coke commercials soon, Jeff.
Yeah, he's a guy who was 40 years old in 12 days. I believe he was the oldest player to ever feature in a World Cup game, which is pretty insane. And this is a guy, this guy, he's only really played for the most part in Cape Verde, played in Moldova, Cyprus. Small guy. Not exactly Buffon or Mike Magnan here. This is a goalkeeper who just had one of those days, Donnie. Go to the poker table, every hand comes in. Sometimes you just make every shot you shoot in a game. He was terrific. He's the reason they won. He'll never buy a drink in Cape Verde again. What a nice life, though. A guy who plays soccer his whole life, has a world stage to do what he did yesterday. He's 40. Retirement's coming for him. You get to live in Cape Verde the rest of your life. Not bad.
Josimar Diaz here, gaining all of those followers. Great to see it at that point, because this is like when you get to this elevated stage, you're right about that here. And by the way, I know everybody's watching behind the scenes here, but when I was in Costa Rica, this has to be probably dating back to 2018, 2019, in that range. Costa Rica had a phenomenal goaltender as well, who was plastered all over the place, Jeff.
Yeah, he had the hair, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he had the hair or not, but the dude was all over the place. Maybe somebody in the chat box behind the scenes can pop that up so I can take a look at that. But this guy was everywhere. And it's not to say, Costa Rica is winning a ton. It looks like Keylor Navas.
Keylor Navas. Yeah, sure. I remember him. Yeah.
You don't have to win World Cups, Jeff, to be a success in your home country and be a legend.
But he was a big-time goalkeeper in the European leagues. This guy is he's pretty unknown for the most part. Donnie, let's get to Mina. She's one of the best. She's one of the best soccer people on the planet.
What, are you going early? What, are you firing the guns early at this point now?
Yeah, let's do it. She's been waiting. Bring her on.
All right, so let's go. Without further ado, we got somebody that really is going to help, at least me out here. Jeff's going to be able to go to toe-to-toe. Mina Rzouki. Mina, what is good? Welcome in the Crossing Lines. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And by the way, Mina, Jeff brought you in early. He's got some business with you here to go back and forth and have some fun. So let's start it off, Jeff. Where do we go from here? Talk to me, Jeff.
Well, I want to start at the beginning because Brazil, Spain, we obviously have talked about them. They've not looked great. Obviously, first games, Argentina plays today, France played today. But Mina, am I crazy to think as an American, and I picked against the U.S. in the first game. I bet against them.
Me
They're
too.
30-1 to win the World Cup. I know it's early, but are we starting to see a little possibility that maybe this group could have what it takes?
The USA has something, like has what it takes.
Yeah.
Listen, I was like you, right? Maybe it's because I actually believed in Paraguay. I believed in defensive intensity. And I thought with the weather and the way that things are going, that in World Cups, defense wins you championships, right? So I did believe in their chances. But the USA were amazing, amazing to watch. And when you have players like Balogun who can produce the unpredictability that he can and who has been brilliant at club level. And I think that Pochettino has always been one of my favorite coaches, has always been so good at extracting quality. Playing in front of a home crowd that was a lot more raucous than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. There were lots of memes. I don't know if you saw that, guys, but there were lots of memes about the American support, and it just paled in comparison to what you get for like a Brazil or an Argentina or even in England. And yet that support was fabulous. And you think that, it is a patriotic country. They are playing at home. Can they do something? I honestly don't know, but I'm not putting them to reach the semifinals now.
Oh, come on now. We got to push them
I'm
all the way
sorry.
through. We need to see him at MetLife here in New York here, Mina, for a championship run at this. But again, it is a long time off here coming into this tournament. They were trading on some of the outlets around like 5% with a chance to win here. It is going to be a tough draw. But Mina, what have you got so far from the World Cup here? Because before the World Cup started, you always have the negatives and this isn't going to work. It looks from my perspective that it's going off without a hitch and it's been phenomenal. And the one thing I do like to see is the teams coming in with their fan bases and certainly showing out each and every game. I've been enjoying it. Jeff always brings up like Scotland. They're in Boston having the times of their life. Ivory Coast here in Philadelphia, it looked like the entire country of Ecuador was in the Philadelphia Stadium here. It was amazing.
Yeah, Ecuador looked like they had absolutely filled the whole stadium. And the support, yeah, it makes a huge difference. I mean, Scotland, you've got like so many on Instagram, on social media, just talking about their journey to the US and how much fun they're having, how many friends they've made, how much they're loving it out there. And that's the difference, right? We've heard so much bad news when surrounding this World Cup, whether it was visa issues, who hasn't been allowed to come, or the political stuff. And yet, actually, all the games have been so much fun to watch. I feel like there were some real highlights, like Netherlands against Japan, which was an instant classic, one of the best matches to have watched. And even some of the sides that you thought won't be that good, like a Qatar against Switzerland, totally showed up in the sense that they scored the equalizer, made it a fabulous moment towards the end, and everyone, was perhaps rallying for them. I never thought that Qatar would start gaining the love of neutrals, but I thought that was a really fun game to watch as well. And obviously Brazil-Morocco, because I think everyone hands down thought that this would be a Brazil win. We're all still remembering Morocco from 2022. That was more of a defensive team, and yet this side is just so much better going forward. It is so much technically more gifted at the moment. And you're starting to see all the problems with Brazil, which makes it all like on an even keel. So you don't know where you're going to go because there's so much unpredictability there. You thought for sure Switzerland would win. For sure Cape Verde were going to lose, and potentially by 6-0. The fact that it was a 0-0 draw and there's storylines, across the board, I think is what's making this World Cup already a very good one to watch.
When you look at a Brazil, right, you could see a situation where Morocco could play well. You could see a situation where Japan could maybe beat the Netherlands. But again, as you said, I predicted 5-0, right, with Cape Verde, right? Donnie, I don't think we quite understand the level of where we are. Think of the Chiefs in their prime with Mahomes. This would be like them playing a high school team.
Yeah.
And it's tied going into the final minute. Like it's an insane upset. Mina, are you worried at all about some of those sides? Spain, Brazil, the Netherlands. Obviously, I think thought they would have won. France played today. If these top teams struggle, are you worried about some of these teams, particularly Spain? How do you not worried about them if you're a Spanish fan?
Listen, the problem with Spain is that they remind me a lot of Italy in the Euros when they played, because they are a very passing team. So it can get a little bit predictable if they don't have a vertical edge, right? If you're just passing the ball and there's nobody that can carry it forward, there's no direct threat, then it can get really tedious to watch. And you don't ever think that they can score a goal, especially if they're up against a really strong defense. So introducing Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams will make the difference. They do need the direct threat to change things. And I think that yesterday, the team that they decided to go with is a side that they have to either change the actual tactics to suit those players or ensure that their players always have a direct threat. So there's always a Lamine Yamal there. There's always a Nico Williams, players that will just run and cause havoc going forward. I am not going to be worried about them. Remember, Argentina were beaten by Saudi Arabia in Qatar 2022, and they lifted the World Cup. So I feel like it's so early stages. There's always going to be a shock in the system, and it's always going to be really fun to watch that. Japan, you mentioned against the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands are without a few of their best players, right? Like Xavi Simons being one of them. So they're a little frail when it comes to various players that could make the difference. But Japan genuinely, on a psychological level, actually believe they can win the World Cup. They've come into this having programmed themselves to think that nothing short of like a semi-final appearance is good enough for this team. So I'm kind of like really wedded to this whole idea of believing in yourself, having that psychological input and being able to tell the team, you know, we're amazing. So we're going to go out there. And actually, I thought that had they played a little bit quicker, they could have done something. But I was a little bit disappointed with what they did. I thought they could have done a lot better against the Netherlands. And yet it was a very entertaining match. But I'm interested to see France. But again, they're going to be purely defensive. I'm a bit worried that they're not going to show us the best of themselves. For Brazil, the wingback situation is an issue. I think they are too top heavy. I don't think they've got the control in midfield. They made so many technical mistakes. They constantly lost the ball. And you put that against Morocco, who was so good at keeping the ball, winning back possession, going forward, direct when they needed to be. And you started to see that different styles of football. It's no longer these giants and everyone else is below them. I think there's now a lot more parity, if you like.
You want to get in depth? We're getting in depth right now. Mina's fantastic stuff so far right now, but we got 3 games on the docket today. And one of those teams, Mina, heading into the World Cup, that was a favorite. It's France. They're going to take on Senegal today, 3 p.m. Eastern time, MetLife Stadium right there just outside of New York City. Heavy favorite, no surprise by France. How do we see France and Senegal playing out today?
Yeah, I mean, they're heavy favorites to win the whole thing, right? They've got the guy who's going to be the Golden Boot winner, everyone thinks at least, Kylian Mbappe. He's a phenomenal talent, but obviously one that's come in alongside a lot of criticism. For the fact of the matter is that he knows how to score goals, but does he do enough to help the team? Does he try to press from the top? Does he help out his teammates when they lose possession? That's kind of been the criticism that's followed him across his club career. The thing that worries me about France, right, is firstly, they do like to play a defensive style of football under Didier Deschamps. More importantly, they've lost that midfield creativity that they used to have. Once upon a time, it was Paul Pogba that could always deliver that perfect ball up front for somebody to finish. And then you had Antoine Griezmann. But without that, you sort of think that, is it too much of the same? Is it just a lot of talent? But
looks like we might have lost Mina there. We'll try to get her back in just a few moments, Jeff. But there we go. We back. I'm sorry, Mina. We lost you for a second there. Yep, go ahead.
With Senegal, they've introduced a lot of younger talent at the moment. So it's not exactly the same team that won, if you like, AFCON, and then that got taken away from them. So it's a new team that's a little bit, again, changed from a psychological point of view, a lot more front thinking. I think they're going to cause them problems, to be honest with you. I fancy Senegal to get something out of this, but I do think that France will reach the semifinals rather easily.
Yeah, Donnie, I like goals in this match, over 2.5.
Yeah.
You look at the Senegal. I think there's a lot of lazy handicapping going on with this team, not with what Mina said, but you'll see a lot of people talk about they have 6 out of 16 games, 11 clean sheets. They're playing the Gambia, Botswana. You look at Morocco. Morocco beat them 3-0. U.S. put 3 on them. We obviously know, I think Mina's 100% right. They are going to go forward. I think they can score goals because France, if there is a weakness with this group, it's probably at the back. I could see this 3-1. I think France kind of get going. It might take a little bit of time, but yeah, Senegal, I think, is a little overvalued defensively. A lot of people are going to look at what they've done in Africa. All due respect, haven't really played a great group. And when they have stepped up, they've gotten beaten up and given up plenty of goals. So I like the over 2.5 in this one.
Mina, let me ask you a question here as things play out as well. Like, we know the teams that are supposed to advance through the knockout stages, and then once we get to the knockout stages, the level of competition does rise. How do these nations take these first games where they're heavy favorites? Do we max out early, or do we get scared like, hey, guys, look at that. Spain had a 0-0 draw in their previous game. Maybe France should come out a little bit sooner. How do we play the early types of the knockout stages on these teams?
Honestly, I think you should always build confidence, right? Like if you start strong, like the way that Germany did against Curacao, and for 20 minutes we were like, wait, Curacao could do something, right? They leveled the score. Maybe there's going to be like a fairy tale, but obviously there's no fairy tale. And I think that, when you keep winning, you keep building momentum and you keep building confidence, and that starts to give a psychological edge to the opponent, to yourself against the opponent, because you're now wondering, this is a team that beat the side 7-1, right? Like, I'm going to be scared of this side, as opposed to Spain, where you think, wait, maybe they can be gotten at. Maybe they are a bit predictable. Maybe we can get them on these stages. And actually, you start thinking you have a chance against them. So I think you've got to start strong. I think you've got to start quickly and you've got to start strong. And you've got to just go for it. It's not about like exhausting yourself. You've got to make the ball work for it so that you're not the one who's having to expend a lot of energy, and use a lot of the squad as much as you can. This is the thing that Spain didn't think that they would have needed Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. They were like, this is Cape Verde. We're going to win this. Problem is that they had too many of the same players on the pitch and none of them could make a difference. So you really do have to get your organization right. And I think that's what's been really impressive about some of the Asian squads, right? They're not usually considered anywhere near good enough at this level. But tactically, a lot of them have had it spot on. They've been really well organized. And I do think defense makes a difference.
Out of gas, Jeff? Come on now. What do you got? Bring.
No, I didn't know if you were going to follow it up with a question. I want to talk about Norway because in qualifying, I mean, I've made a lot with Norway. I mean, they're a great side. Obviously, they are fun going forward, always put a lot of shots on goal. Holland is just such a bruising force up front. Iraq concerns me. Obviously, I think they're just going to try to set up shop and try to just protect their goal and not allow anything. A lot of small domestic league players on this side. Win to nil, obviously, I think probably most likely here. What do you like here, man? Anything? Norway, Iraq?
I mean, Norway scored 37 goals in qualifying. They destroyed Italy, destroyed Italy, right? Which is a huge footballing nation, 4 World Cups, right? My team, take them out. And now they're facing Iraq, who, let's be honest with you, Iraq has nothing to lose. They can come into this and try to have fun. Yep, they're up against Erling Haaland. They're against Odegaard. They did something against Bolivia that I don't think many players or many teams thought that they could do, which is they actually had fun with it. They do have talent. They drew 1-1 in a friendly with Spain. I mean, maybe now you're looking at Spain and thinking Cape Verde, that draw against Iraq, maybe they're not that strong. But they do have players like Ayman Hussein, who's just really dogged going forward. They've got players like Dosky, who can always score a goal from outside the box, which can be something fearful. But yeah, we're looking at Norway getting at least 3 goals in this. I mean, you've got Haaland, you've got a very creative team. More importantly, they're giants on the pitch. So that's going to intimidate the opponent. They are a very big athletic squad that plays with deep intensity. So, I mean, for me, I think this is going to be an easy win. I don't know if it's a win. I don't know if they can keep a clean sheet, to be honest with you. Just because I do think that they're going to go very gung-ho. They might leave room at the back for one of those like audacious opportunities from like a long-range effort or something. You've got Ali Al-Hamadi, who almost always scores for them. Ayman Hussein. Like I said, different players that can come in and score a goal. I just don't think Iraq can get more than one.
Nightcap
really
tonight, mean. Yeah.
Real quick, Donnie. Tough market on this match. I mean, even laying 1.5 goals, I mean, you got to play 154. I mean, it's a tough market to find value in. I mean, maybe you just try to find something first half or Erling Haaland to score a few goals. Maybe you can put 2 on the board. It's a tough market, this one.
Argentina, Algeria tonight. The nightcap meet at 9 p.m. Eastern here. They're going to take place in Kansas City, Missouri, right there at Arrowhead. Lionel Messi takes the pitch. And you know when he takes the pitch, all eyes on the prize at this point. They are favored here, Argentina, over Algeria. How do we play this out tonight with Messi back on the pitch?
This has got to be both teams to score an over. I think Algeria. I mean, listen, you always feel like with Argentina, they can start slowly sometimes, right? You've got Lionel Messi, you've got Nico Paz, you've got so much talent, right? In that squad that they're the defending champions. So we know that they're going to be able to score goals. And always the South American teams will always do really well when tournaments are staged outside of Europe. So But I think Algeria's got something to be reckoned with, to be honest with you, whether it's Riyad Mahrez, whether they've got this young kid, Ibrahim Maza, who's just been fantastic to watch in the Bundesliga. He's basically Leverkusen's response to the loss of Florian Wirtz. So he's got all the creativity of Wirtz, but he's got the physicality as well. And then you've got Amora, who's been scoring goals for them relentlessly in qualification. So I think they definitely have goals in them. And I don't think Argentina's defense necessarily is calm enough to avoid conceding. So for me, this is the both teams to score an over 2.5. I don't know which way it's going to go, because I wouldn't be that shocked if Algeria won this. I just wouldn't be at the start of the match. We're seeing all the unpredictability. So they're definitely going to get something out of this match. I don't know whether they'll be good enough to make it a 2-2.
Yeah, tough early matchups for like the Uruguays, the Argentinas, these tough kind of North African, Middle Eastern teams, very difficult to break down. I'll also tell you, Donnie, the whole world in this country is going to bet Lionel Messi to score tonight.
Of course they are.
It's kind of, again, like the U.S. the other night. You're kind of fading the public, I think, here. But, Mina, let me ask you, so Flash came on here, and I don't know if you know, but he completely delivered. I know that's rare for him, but he completely delivered.
Knock him.
What do you go, Donnie? 3-0? He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never seen him go 3-0. So, Mina, give us a best bet. Come on. And then I have one other follow-up question.
Come on.
What best bet for tonight?
Best bet for tonight, or maybe just who's going to actually win the entire thing here for you? What do you got?
We're going to put you on the spot.
I still think it's between France or Spain. It's going to be between France and Spain to win this. And I think Germany will get a lot further than people think they will. I am betting a lot on the European teams, to be honest with you. And I think that we're going to see a matchup between Iran and USA in the second round. That's my money.
Now that would be fascinating, Donnie.
Yeah. They've both got to finish second in their groups. And I think it's still a possibility that could happen, right? So that would be really fun to watch, not just because of the geopolitical situation.
Exactly. Laying it out all on the line at this. And by the way, if we take a look at the Golden Boot winner, which obviously is the best player in this tournament, who is going to get that, Mina? Let's put you on the spot one final time here.
I think Harry Kane could really be a shout for that. Listen, the one thing that worries me is the heat, right? English people do not do very well in the heat. And that's the only thing that worries me. But they've got a relatively easy group, so I feel like they could get quite a few just at the group stage. Kylian Mbappe has got a hard group in the sense that, can you score a hat-trick against Senegal and Norway? Oh, I don't know about that, But yeah, for me, I think that I'm going to hunt for Harry Kane.
Real
Fabulous.
Quick, Mina, before you go, Mina, I got to ask. I know she's a big Italian. She does a lot of Italian stuff. Mina, I grew up. My best friend was from Sicily, and I remember 2006 very well. Fabio Cannavaro, one of my favorites. Luca Toni, Francesco Totti. Just a beautiful age of soccer that year when they won. Obviously, there is a team that we don't see in this tournament, and that's Italy. Pretty hard to stomach them not being in. How does things get fixed with this country? Very sad what's the state of football currently.
It's a country that's obsessed with bureaucracy and keeping tradition, right? So they just don't like to think outside the box. Let's just do the same, which is a lot of old guys at the top making decisions to suit their friends. They don't have new stadiums. They don't invest in infrastructure. I think sometimes they just try to win too quickly, and that involves not building enough. More importantly, you saw when it came to the kids, they're winning tournaments. The kids are winning the World Cups or the Euros. They're getting far. So there is enough young talent growing, but they're just not being given an opportunity to play at the top level. When it comes to Juventus, and they've got to make top four to try to qualify for the Champions League, they're not going to look to introduce the kids. They're trying to get whoever will get them a goal. So everything is short-term thinking in Serie A. And I think that's having a huge effect. Another thing that I would honestly say is that what's so great about Brazil and Argentina is that they send all their talent abroad and they pick up different skills. They learn how to face different opposition. Italians tend to stay at home, right? They love their mama's cooking. They love their homes, and they don't go out and try to face different teams and learn how to deal with different tactics, different leagues, different competitions. And that means they get a lot of the same type of style of football. And I think that's starting to become a hindrance for them. There is so much to fix there.
The fabulous Mina Rzouki, we thank you so much for your time today. Before we let you go, where can we find you on social media, and what are you up to these days?
I'm at Mina Rzouki. I'm pretty much everywhere. You can find me with Becky Anderson on CNN. I work for the National, IMI Media, anywhere you want to call me. But I'm at Mina Rzouki on X and on Instagram.
There you go. That's Mina Rzouki there talking some World Cup action with you. I'm Donnie Rightside. He's Jeff Native. We're going to take a quick break right now before we come back. More hot topics on the way. And again, thank you, Mina, for joining us today. We will be right back. Mina was fantastic right there, Jeff. The information that the people needed here. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Jeff Nadeau. It's Crossing Lines. If you're watching in the chat box right now or across social media, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Come on in here and comment. It's how we do business. It is going to be your place to be. I promise you there, Jeff. I'm enjoying myself with this show. Okay, and me, look. I'm the American footballer. Like, we still call it soccer here. I'm enjoying myself. But when somebody knows exactly how to break games down like Mina, I love it, Jeff. It gets me more involved.
Yeah, Mina's like an old school soccer tactical person.
Fantastic.
So is Flash. I mean, look, a lot of people don't know, but Flash played in the Premier League, right? He was a top striker. So, again, these people know what they're talking about. I'm an old school handicapper in the way I do things. Again, Donnie, if I have two air raid offenses in college football and we're on a short track and a dome, I'm probably going to bet the over. It's pretty simple to understand. I like people that don't complicate things. Easy stuff. As far as the matches today, though, I think France-Senegal over 2.5.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, I think that's a really good play. You're going to see, I always talk about handicapping with this thought. You're going to hear a lot of these dumb people who didn't know how to handicap 2 years ago. They're going to tell you about this and about that. They're not going to tell you, though, what you don't want to hear. And again, 16 games, 11 clean sheets for Senegal. But you look at the competition, Botswana, Gambia, just not a lot of quality there. This is the best team in the world you're now going to play. I could see a situation where France kind of dummy them a little bit, put a few on the board. And I think Senegal with Sadio Mane, guys like that, I think they can score. Norway, I thought that was a hard place to find value. Maybe you try to find like an Erling Haaland to score a goal and maybe you parlay that with a win to nil or something. But it's tough. I mean, they definitely did a good job with this match. And then the final one, both teams are scoring over 2.5. I agree with Mina. I think Algeria can get something out of that match. So can Argentina. I think it could be a draw. I could see it 2-2 maybe.
3, 6, and 9 o'clock Eastern today. One game, Jeff, at MetLife Stadium, one left at Gillette Stadium, one at GEHA Field. But, of course, they're all known as Kansas City Stadium. And they call it, is it Foxborough Stadium, by the way? Is it Boston? It's not even near Boston. Is it? I don't even know what they're calling it there. And then just New York, New Jersey Stadium.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 minutes away, Foxborough.
No, it is. I'm just saying. I don't know what they call it there, by the way. Is they calling it Boston Stadium in Foxborough or Foxborough Stadium, like Philadelphia Stadium? But they don't call it. You're not allowed to call it that in the World Cup. Like Lincoln Financial Field is all covered up. It's Philadelphia Stadium, which always makes me laugh. You know what I mean? Because you're not paying FIFA for the rights to use the building that you already have rights to. It don't make sense, but that's what FIFA does here. Now understand this, people. You thought you were going to get away with just some soccer topics here. We're going to go over who's going to score goals and, who's actually going to, both teams to score, overs, unders, leading goal scorers. People. This is what you came to see on the show. This is what Crossing Lines does, because we go from the pitch into the bleachers here, Jeff, and we go high up in those bleachers. So we're going to go over Jeff's highest rated fan bases, not because of passion. Like, hey, man, Scotland, they sing loud, and boy, we're going to get to Korea, whose fans clean up after, Jeff. These are the people that are going to the stadium that you're catching on social media like, whoa, that person cheers for that team, Jeff. So just give us a little bit of a background of how we came up with this list before we get into it and say what you're grading these possibilities on. Bring it. Come on. What is it?
This is really just the 5 fan bases women-wise that I'm attracted to and I think are hot. obviously you may be into Norwegian women or Croatian women. I'm not going to say they're not beautiful, just not really my types. Again, this is my list, okay? And I notice on the internet when I say this is my list, it's where's this?
That's a terrible list, Jeff. Yeah, you got to be kidding me.
Create your own damn list. By the way, Donnie, I'm following in the chat.
Yes.
Before we get into the list,
go.
This guy Jack in the chat, he's having a coronary.
Yes.
Jack, Kick is different than YouTube. They don't have the same emojis. Jack wants the emojis. He's like obsessed with the emoji. Jack, chill out. We can't
before we get to like the emoji that we're talking about, is it like a real emoji of you or a meme like where I've seen everything with you dancing and stuff? Is it real or is it just Donnie, like a button?
No.
Yeah.
When we were on Kick, there were custom emojis of my face, Corby, like the different people on the show, and you could like pop them on the chat. This guy Jack is like obsessed with them. He's wondering where they are.
Get him, Jack.
We don't make the rules.
Get him, Jack. By the way, did you see what the rules would be too? Did you see the rules in the chat box which Nat was laying out? 1,000 subs on here. Then we start to talk about emojis. We'll get there. Just a matter of how quickly you people jump in this chat box and certainly support it and do it. A lot of things happen once we get more subs, Jeff. Come on, you know it.
Please share. Please tell people. But let's get into the fan bases.
Come on,
all right. Start with number 5.
Yes, we'll start with that. Okay, number 5. Here we go, Jeff. Take it away.
Yeah, number 5 is going to be.
You were hyping them yesterday.
Yeah, and listen, they were always going to be an entry even before yesterday. In fact, I've commented multiple times on Cape Verde's fan base. I mean, look at that. Look at her. Beautiful. It's got the wavy hair, beautiful skin tone. Just look like, a girl that would be shaking in a hula on a beach. I mean, just beautiful. Whoa. What a beautiful country. Beautiful people, just angelic looking, beautiful skin. If you were on Twitter yesterday, they got the bodies. And I'm not talking about the BBL bodies. These are natural bodies, a little Rubenesque, if you will, a little bit of a curve to them.
Sopranos term.
Shout out to Cape Verde. I saw something yesterday, Donnie. Before you get married as a single man, make sure you go to Cape Verde. I have to say, it has shot up my list. I might be in Cape Verde sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's one of those things, Jeff. We got this list. It's almost like you have to go to the country and prove that list right at this point. I'm just looking on Google as a search right now. Not a lot of people live there, but Jeff, beautiful turquoise water there. You're always getting out in the sun and relaxing. I will say this too. Like we're in a sunny region with a lot of beach activities and warm weather. People tend to stay in shape more, Jeff, than let's just say, and I don't want to, maybe I do want to bet, like Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know what I mean? People tend to stay in better shape,
Yes, Donnie, it's not that surprising to think that the women in Cape Verde are more beautiful than the ones in Milwaukee or Dubuque, Iowa. Yes, I would agree there. Number 4.
Yeah, go.
A little surprising.
Okay.
Iran. And I say this because I will always say some of the most beautiful eyes in the world on a woman are in Iran. Persian women are fantastic. Generally, they're going to have the dark, raven-like features, just beautiful. I grew up watching Shahs of Sunset. Shahs of Sunset.
Yeah.
A lot of beautiful Persian women on there. There was a woman on there called Nessa. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Shahs of Sunset. I like Iranian women, Persian women. They're beautiful. And also shout out to, the Middle East. I'm a fan of the Middle Eastern women, the Iraqi, the Jordanians, even the North Africans, Morocco, Egypt. But I'm going to go with Iran at number 4.
By the way, what's crazy about this too, Jeff? Hold on, a little personal information on that. The wife met Reza in California walking on a trail and got pictures with Reza out there. How about that?
Really? Yeah. I used to... I don't know what it was about Shahs of Sunset, but when I'd be at the shore in the summer, it would be on at 2 p.m. And
I love the show. I love that type of stuff. Now, Jeff, the chat box is out there saying, "Are the Latinas coming?" And they're waiting on this stuff here. So let's go. We have Cape Verde at number 5, Iran at number 4. Jeff, you're number 3. Who is it?
Yeah, so number 3 is going to be an old favorite, Brazil. Some people say Brazil has the most beautiful women on earth. And when you think of Brazil, you got to look at just the level of how many supermodels they've had over the years.
True.
Whether it be Giselle Bundchen, Alessandra Ambrosio. I mean, just so many beautiful women. I mean, look at the curly, wavy hair, the angelic features, the beautiful eyes. They're some will be light skinned, some will be dark skinned, a nice mix of a female.
Yep.
Just beautiful women, beautiful beaches. There's a guy, Donnie, on TikTok, Passport Paulie. Everybody go check him out.
Wow.
Man. He's going to offer you the ability. He'll give you a little direction as to where to go in Brazil to find whether you want just a hoe, you want to marry a woman, where to go. Shameless plug. Go follow Passport Paulie, the man. But yes, Brazil going to come in number 3. Probably could have been higher, but I just have 2 a little bit better.
Now, Jeff, let's before we get to number 2 here, I got to ask you a question on this. You brought up already the BBL, and if nobody knows what that means, that's the Brazilian butt lift. Some people have, I guess, good surgeons, Jeff. Some people don't have such good surgeons here. I'm not a fan. It's not my style, but I need Jeff Nadu's take on the BBL when done right, when done wrong, or when done at all.
Yeah, so that was actually one of the reasons Brazil was 3 and not 2 or 1. I feel like, as I get older, I'll be 37. I'm more and more not as into it as I once was. Look, Donnie, you know me personally. You met one of my exes. I mean, she had one. I may have paid for it, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. Been there, done that.
Jeff. Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
good return on investment, Jeff. Did you ask for it back when it didn't go so well? Did you get the funds back?
No, God, no. She was my girl for like 4 years, so no, I'm not going to ask. But I like the ones that do it naturally. Back. I mean, I lost weight without using Ozempic. I did it naturally. I think if you get in the gym, you do lunges, you get on the Stairmaster, you do the glutes, you can achieve whatever booty you want. So, yeah, that's why I put Brazil 3. Number 2, and I actually want to point out, this was ranked number 1 by, I guess, users.
Wow.
It's Argentina.
Wow.
Argentina is a super underrated country, Donnie, in terms of really everything from women to just living there. The one knock is it's a pretty expensive country, but Argentina's got the beautiful women. I believe obviously Messi is from Argentina. His wife is also from Argentina. He didn't go elsewhere. She's beautiful. Again, simple Latina look, but again, the wavy hair, they have that kind of opulent look to them, I feel like. And a thing a lot of people don't know about Argentina, a lot of Italians that live there as well. So the Italian-Argentinian mix, one of the most beautiful in the world. Argentina, number 2. Actually was ranked number 1, though, by certain publications.
By the way, pretty large country as well, Jeff, bordering Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Chile. How do you like that? That's my Latin coming in here. By the way, most people don't know I got a Latin background, Jeff. Most people don't know.
The good thing about Argentina, too, Donnie, is, in the north, with Bolivia and Peru and Ecuador and Colombia, a lot of, drug stuff up there. The South is a lot more tranquil, a lot more euphoric. It does go on there, but it's not as potent. You're not going to have to worry about getting shot in the street. Argentina, a nice place to live.
I like
Number
it.
1, Donnie.
No, hold on, Jeff. Hold on. Let the host get through. We got to let this sink in on the people here at this point because the chat box is popping off right now. Brazil never fails in soccer and women, says Al Pinedor. Also, King Kalusha says, I thought he said one of these here. Did he just say the word hoe on this? Absolutely, he did say that. Argentina might count for blondes, and also everybody enjoying themselves right now in this, Jeff. So, yeah, by the way, Argentina, I think I would like to go to Argentina there. I think I would like to. If of the list so far, Jeff, Cape Verde, Iran, now Brazil's up there. Like, I really think I would get down in Argentina. I think I would enjoy it.
No, Brazil, both places beautiful. I will also say with a bit of a hot take here, it's not really a hot take. My most beautiful women in the world are from the Dominican Republic. I will always say that. I will marry a Dominican if I ever do. I love Dominican women. They're not in this tournament, so they're not going to be on the list. But the number 1.
Go ahead.
Top fan base.
Come on.
Colombia.
Yeah,
Colombiana. I mean, look, you obviously think about Sofia Vergara is Colombian. She's one of those beautiful women in the world. I love Colombian girls because they're all the same. They're all sultry. They're sexy. Just all of them? They have that look. They have that thing I want. Plus, you go to Colombia, they're going to cook a nice meal for you. They're going to take care of you. I don't mind being a passport bro. You just got to worry. Don't get drugged. There are some of those that will throw something in your drink a little bit. Donnie, do you want to hear a story?
I do. We're here for story time. It's what we do. Come on.
And I'm still working through this right now.
Okay.
We're trying to figure it out. So, I'm at the shore right now.
Yes.
So I get down here on Sunday,
and
I was wanting another coffee. So I go up to Asbury Avenue. I'm at this coffee shop, and there's a girl in there.
Yeah.
Bad. I mean, probably 25, 28, around that range.
Okay.
I could tell she did not speak English. And I kick up a conversation with anybody. I don't care if you're old, young, whatever. I just speak to you, whatever. We have a conversation. And I said hello to her. She's like, oh, no, speak English. I said, habla español. Sí. She asked me, poquito. She gives me her WhatsApp. She tells me she's 28. She's from Colombia. And she's visiting Atlantic City. She came over to Ocean City for the day. So we start WhatsApping and talking. Yeah. And I basically say to her, like, you want to kick it? You want to link up? We'll go on the beach. She says, yes, but only if I can bring my friend. She then proceeds to send me a picture.
What?
The friend's hotter than her. And she's over a 10.
Mogging, so Jeff. She's going to get mogged out of there by her best friend.
No, well, the Nadu's thinking, he's saying, well, a little 2 for 1 here.
Wow. Can you handle it, though, Jeff? That's what the people ask. People be haters out there. Jeff's lying. Jeff's never been seen with a woman in his life. What do you say to the haters out there?
Well, what they'll say is, oh, they're hookers, or they're trannies, or, it's I can never get my respect. I could be with a beautiful woman married with kids and she's an escort, or they're not my kids, or whatever. Listen, there's some people, in fact, most that are not Jeff Nadu, but I am him. So I do that kind of thing. It is.
By the way, also the Crossing Lines TV chat box is saying Croatia, Jeff, very underrated. Now, who would make that comment back there that would say that? Who do you think it was?
Wait, someone said that in the chat?
Yeah, our Crossing Lines official moderator.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Who said that?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Who's actually like on that behind there?
Dave Mannion, because Dave Mannion likes sisters like me.
But it can't be Dave Mannion. It's the official Crossing Line Sports TV moderator.
I don't know who that is. Probably Scott. I feel like he would like Croatian women. But I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll tell you what though. Croatian, Balkan women are beautiful. Albanian women are beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Croatia would probably be 6 or 7 on this list if there was one.
There you go. Love it. There's Jeff's 1 through 5. Way to go all the way through. Now, also, Jeff, understand this. We're going to get a lot more pictures here. And this isn't just about like the hottest women around the world. It legitimately is the hottest women of the World Cup. Could we have updates to this top 5, Jeff, all throughout this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you can find really every country in the world has beautiful women. I think it's just more of a preference type of thing. I've always.
What about the Irish, Jeff? Do we give any credit to I never really see too many Irish out here on the scene.
You know what they say about Irish women, Donnie, right?
What do they say? I don't.
They have the biggest asses.
Really? The Irish?
Silvio Dante.
Shepherd's pie?
Don't you remember when in The Sopranos where Silvio Dante goes, he had balls bigger than an Irish broad's ass.
So that's where you make you surmised. See, there you go.
I think it's really, again, just about preference. I'm not really into like the blonde hair, blue eye look. Look, I'm sure they're great, but I guess you just have a preference. I prefer, black Spanish women personally. But
look at that.
I'm sure there's people that have a list of the Czech Republic, Norway, and England.
We got behind the scenes. We found out who that is out there at this point. But I think it is going to be subject to change. For me, again, look, I got to stick with the U.S. My wife might catch a hold of this and be like, "What do you mean you love Croatian women?" I'm not Croatian at this point, so look, it's got to be a little bit PC right now. At least when I know she's not watching your Jeff. But great topics here so
Donnie,
far.
You're married though, so you can't.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I can't come in here and say I love Croatian women or say, "Boy, I want to live in Argentina." I really can't do that.
I've met Donnie's wife a few times. Yeah. She's one of the nicest, best people on the planet. Donnie did very well in his life.
Yeah, nice to Jeff at least.
Donnie is a quintessential person of the man. Like when you're, what are you, Donnie? Like 40 something?
I am 48, turning 49. I don't feel like it though. I honestly don't feel like it.
Yeah, when you're that age though, like when I'm that age,
yeah,
I would probably want to be you. Like you have a very good life. So
I do. I always have the best life, man. Like I wouldn't change anything about my life. All the ups and the downs. That's the only way we got here, and away we go at this point, Jeff. But awesome topics there. But you know what we got to do, Jeff? The people want to talk some Major League Baseball. My RBI props yesterday, light them on fire. Nobody was helping me out. I got 3 runs in both games. None of my guys got RBI for the plus money. That's going to change today. It was ridiculous, man. By the way, fighting Phillies last night, Zach Wheeler, and I'm a Phillies fan, Jeff's a Yankees fan. Wheeler looks fantastic coming back from thoracic outlet syndrome. They win 7-0 yesterday. I enjoyed that. The Mets in the same division got blanked 12-0. But PCA, Jeff, for the Cubbies and for the cycle yesterday. We had some good doings in baseball yesterday.
Yeah, I actually ended up playing a little Phillies first 5 -1/2.
Man, he's good, Wheeler.
By the way, we didn't get into this. I got kicked out of the Borgata last night.
Wait. No. I do, Jeff. We don't have a ton of time on shows for this. That is a tomorrow topic, and thank you for saying that because I didn't want to burn that today. But we will tease that right now. Jeff got tossed out of the Borgata. Don't you worry, people. We're going to go full inside detail. Make sure we have that tomorrow in one of our segments here. But right now, Jeff, baseball today, huge card, 15 games. Now, you sent me a text here. You're digging on one of these games. Before we get to the Phillies and the Marlins tonight, let me see what Jeff's got going on right now. What do you got tonight, Jeff?
Yeah, I like a game that stayed under last night. And I'm going to go back to it again today. Late night game, big time matchup, Dodgers Rays. We talked a little bit about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I like the under 8.5 here. I thought this price was high. I mean, you look at Drew Rasmussen, another one of those Rays starters, really good. 14 straight scoreless innings, 22 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Really good cutter, sinker, good arsenal pitches, gets a lot of swings and misses. Justin Robleski as well, been good also. A lot of weak contact for both these pitchers. 2 good bullpens. We talked about that yesterday. The Rays at times can really struggle to drive runs in. I think this is, again, a lot like yesterday, 4-3, 3-2, 5-3. I think 8.5 is a little too high here. I really like what I've seen from Rasmussen. And Robleski, again, a guy who I think can get a lot of weak contact. I like the under 8.5 here.
Yeah, you know I'm going to do every single day here, Jeff, with some of these Major League Baseball plays, because, again, that's going to carry us through a lot of the summer along with the World Cup before we actually get the football season. I got a contrarian play of the day, and you guys already saw that graphic popping up on the screen. The Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies. The one thing up with the Phillies, Jeff, you put them up against a bad pitcher, they're going to put up some runs. They did that last night, scoring 7 times. But tonight, Tyler Phillips is on the mound. And if you haven't watched him pitch this year, Jeff, 208 batters he's faced on the season. His ISO against is 094. It's fantastic. Weighted on base percentage, 282. Fantastic. And as I told you, the Phillies tend to struggle against pitchers that tend to be better ERA-wise. But take a look at that ERA, Jeff. 1.86 there for Tyler Phillips. That's awesome. But a Sierra number, skill interactive ERA, which brings into a lot of analytics, that's at a 4.47. So it's one of those where, Jeff, the eyeball test says, boy, he's doing really good, but the underlying metrics say he might get touched up. So for me tonight, I'm actually going to take the Phillies team total over 4.5 at a plus money price at 104. I don't like it all that much, but I look at this as a contrarian spot that says this guy's teetering on the edge, and sooner than later it's going to catch up to him, and maybe the Phillies played 5 runs tonight. They got 7 last night. Just a contrarian look at this one. A couple RBI props that I like tonight as well, Jeff. We're taking a look here. Juan Soto and Soto and Young here for those New York Metropolitans. That game they're going to take on, they got blasted yesterday, Jeff. Cincinnati, up and down, all the way around. I think the score was like 12 or 13-0 by the time it was done. But tonight, I do think we get some good opportunities here from those Mets batters. Brady Singer, Jeff, not a good pitcher here. You take a look at some of his statistics on the season, you say, weighted on base percentage here, Jeff, against 421 through lefties for 175 batters. How about 360 against righties, Jeff, through 108 batters? Well, looks like Juan Soto here, 75 at-bats over the past 30 days against right-handed pitchers. A 306 ISO, a 423 weighted on base percentage. So what I'm going to do with him, Jeff, double up right behind him. Jared Young, another lefty who I just told you Brady Singer really struggles with. How about this? A 292 ISO and a 367 weighted on base percentage. I need both of those guys. Soto, plus 118. That's plus money. Going with Young, plus 146. The goal in the design, Jeff, once again, just to get one of those 2 guys at least to get the RBI for plus money. You get 2 of them, and you're ready to rock at this point. Another spot I like, Jeff. You ready for this one? Colorado Rockies. Where are they at today? Oh, look, taking on those Chicago Cubbies. 68-degree temperatures, Jeff. Double-digit winds blowing out of Wrigley. You know what that usually leads to, and that's runs. But I'm going to focus on the Colorado batters going up against Edward Cabrera. Look at this, Jeff. Another plus money spot. Rumfield. You ever heard that guy's name? TJ Rumfield. Left-handed batter, 67 at-bats over the past 30 days, Jeff. How about this? 268 ISO, 387 weighted on base percentage against right-handed pitching. I'll take that. And by the way, Edward Cabrera's last 39 left-handed batters that he faced, Jeff, how about this? A 194 ISO, but a 409 weighted on base percentage. I'm going to pair him with Goodman, plus 146. So I got 4 RBI props tonight, all plus money, Jeff. Just looking for 2 of them right there. That's it. Just give me 2.
Yeah, and the thing about Cincinnati, you're facing them, their bullpen sucks also.
Stinks.
So.
Double up on them. By the way, late tonight,
you know, I'll go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go under 8.5 with Dodgers Rays.
I like that. One more here for the people, Jeff. I got to pick an over, and I like it. Now, it's rainy conditions. Hopefully, it finishes the game and they start. 72 degrees in Atlanta here. I like the over 9. It's my total of the day for a game. You look at Hauser and see how this matches up right here, Jeff. 116 xFIP minus. Again, 100 to the baseline. That's above. Grant Holmes, minus 1 or 107 xFIP minus. That is above. But look at the Sierra numbers, Jeff. You get close to 5, that is disaster territory. That's Hauser. And Grant Holmes at a 4.53. But also, you want to take a look at ripping the cover off the baseball, Jeff, in the last 30 days. You wouldn't think it's the Giants. Against right-handed pitching, it is. I have 8+ batters in that lineup. Give me the over 9. So I'm stacked up tonight in Major League Baseball, Jeff. Looking for a rebound yesterday. No RBIs yesterday. Nonsense tonight, Jeff. We're getting RBI tonight. How do you feel about that?
I love it. I'm going to be rooting them in. You're a little bit of a different gambler in the terms of baseball. I love it. We kind of fit each other well. By the way, shout out to the people watching on Twitter right now. I see like 600 people watching on the live stream on Twitter. Shout out to you.
Love
if you're on Twitter, please like and subscribe. Follow the Twitter account.
By the way, is there going to be a way too? Because I'm not I know a lot about technology, like on my computer and stuff. But is there a way that we combine like every chat box? Like, can we do that? Or is that even possible by the end of the summer? Can we have something in the works?
I don't think
for that?
That
would be crazy, man.
They don't have a chat.
We gotta get somebody. Yeah, we gotta get some feed ins on that. But that's the way it is, Jeff. That's Major League Baseball tonight's going to carry us for the summer. World Cup talk as well. We got to get into the more trending topics here today, Jeff, because we got a couple really good ones to get through. And if you haven't been following along, we like viral topics. That's one of the great things why I love this show on Crossing Lines. We're going to talk a ton of sports. We're going to handicap a ton. You guys got that. But in the summer months, I love topics that really hit home. Jeff, I'm scared to death of heights. But when I say that, it's controlled heights. You ever been to a mall? You look over the 3rd deck? I can't do that. You go up on your roof, you want to clean your gutters of debris? Jeff, I can't do that. Can I fly in a plane? I'm absolutely fine. I'll tell you some other stories about me and having some height differences here. But did you see this bungee jump, Jeff? Imagine going bungee jumping, which I would be scared to death to do, like jumping out of a plane. And you're not attached when it's all said and done. I can't think of a more nightmarish scenario than what we saw here, Jeff. And there's a New York Post article saying right there, 130 feet, they didn't attach the cord, Jeff. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, this is what we would call negligent homicide. Negligent homicide. Yeah, I posted this. I got the raw video of this pretty early on, and I posted it on Instagram. It got like 4 million views.
Yeah.
Very sad. I mean, this is, you see this a lot. Year after year, you see these people die in the saddest ways possible. And this is a rough one. You go into a place. But this is, again, why if you just stay on the ground, you don't have to worry about stuff like this. It's like when you're if you're on a cruise, it's probably not likely to happen, but the Titanic was supposed to be unsinkable. It sunk. If you weren't on it, you wouldn't have to worry about it. If you just stay on the ground, you don't have to worry about this stuff. These enthusiast type people, I'll never understand. Some of these people do these goofy, crazy things just for views. And it's like, you could die, then views won't matter. So, but yeah, this person just seems like just an innocent person who's just going and trying to have some fun and do some enthusiast type things. Yeah, they were charged and they should be. This is absolutely negligent homicide. And your gross incompetence is negligence in the end and results in someone dying. That's
Scared to
really
death.
sad, man.
Scared to death. Jack Falk says almost had a panic attack across the Sydney Harbor Bridge. Now, Jeff, like I went for my anniversary a couple years back to Las Vegas. And I'm like, I'm going to show my wife a really good time. And I told you, I'm afraid of heights. We went and I booked the Top of the World restaurant, which I believe is the top of the stratosphere. And I said, I want the best table you got. Booked it like a month and a half in advance. They gave me the best table, Jeff. I had to move back a row because I couldn't be that close to the ledge looking out. And there were people actually like bungee jumping at the top of the stratosphere. So I moved back because I'm going to enjoy my dinner much more. So not only on that same trip, Jeff, I booked the top of the Mandalay Bay where the restaurant that overlooks the strip. And I told them once again, months in advance, give me your best table you got. It's an anniversary. It's a celebration. Jeff, they gave me the best table they had, which is against a railing open air at the top of the hotel, which I told the waiter the minute they sat me down, I can't sit here. You know what the waiter told me, Jeff? People wait months for this seat right here. I go, that's great. Give it to the next guy. And I had to move back, Jeff. Sometimes I go over my skis, if you will, but I tried to show my wife a good time, and I'm deathly afraid of heights, and I did it twice on the same vacation where I had to move my seat from the best seat in the house because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider going to a restaurant like that. Like Donnie, I don't even get in the ocean. So like I'm pretty scared of like a lot of things. It's not that I'm scared of the ocean because of like it being dirty. It's the ocean. I don't know what's inside. I can't see the bottom.
I love the ocean.
The ocean freaks me out. Heights freak me out. Yeah, I don't like driving over bridges either, personally. I was driving over the Longport Bridge the other night, and I'm thinking like, it doesn't look like anyone else is driving over this bridge. What if like the top of the bridge is just out or something?
Earthquake.
And I won't know. Like I get scared about stuff like that. I hate heights, man. I don't even go to those restaurants.
By the way, we do have a Q&A to end the show, which will be up in a couple minutes. Any questions out there you have for me and or Jeff Nadu, put that there. The guys in the chat box will let us know. We'll answer those. But a couple other hot topics, which we do want to go over, Jeff. I thought UFC Freedom 250 was fantastic. Like from start to finish, the fights were great. The background was fantastic. The weather held. What a celebration. But it was marred by one context, I should say. Like, I don't care if you vote conservative. I don't care if you are liberal. There is a decorum that we all like to go over. And sometimes the right environment, it hits. And sometimes it lands flat. You take a look at Josh Hokit there. Now, he won his fight easily, destroyed his opponent, then made a statement there that most people would say was very crass, and it was. And I'm sure, Jeff, a lot of people have saw that video around. But hear me out on this. And by the way, I know you're close with Barstool Sports there, Dave Portnoy. He was very good yesterday on social media because he was right about this. You know what should have happened in that environment, Jeff? And again, it's not political. Somebody, the bigger man, maybe the president of the United States, could have gotten in the ring and goes, you know what? Ain't doing that. We ain't doing that here. We're celebrating 250. Great fight. Let's carry on at this point. Like a great night, which should have been focused on the fighters and the beauty of this country and 250 years of being its own sovereign nation, was marred by that comment, Jeff. And I wanted your take on what you thought about that comment, how it landed on social media, and how we got here.
Well, look, I said it yesterday, and it went viral, and it should have.
Jeff loves viral.
And again, look, this is just the truth. If you found this funny, you're a total loser. Total loser. It's disrespectful. We all have mothers. We all have aunts. We all have sisters. Yeah. I was actually in the Borgata Sportsbook when he said this, and there were about 4 or 5, the goofy guys that, drink beer and they're frat boys. They all thought it was funny. Yeah, and then you had the occasional like middle-aged USA, and look, this is the problem. Like you can't think like I can think this is a loser comment, and I'm an immediate liberal. I'm an asshole. You can't think with your head. But at the end of the day, this is disrespectful. Michelle Obama is one of the better first ladies we've ever had. Look, do I agree with everything that her husband did? No. I always will respect Barack Obama. I thought he was really one of the pillars of my childhood, really. I mean, for a black man to become the president, it was one of the great moments in American history. And, Michelle Obama did a lot of great things. She's a mother. To call her a man is so disrespectful. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I mean, this happens far too much. And the reason Donald Trump didn't say anything about it is because deep down, Donald Trump agrees with this goofy type of stuff. His rhetoric at times has made it acceptable to do this, and then nothing happened from it. I hope Josh Hokit gets sued, and I'm sure he will, and he is going to have to pay for his behavior. At some point, we have to understand freedom of speech. Yes, we have it, but you cannot slander people. You cannot make things up about people that are not true. And this is one of them.
Time and a place, right? That's always the way it goes down here. Now, let's take a look at some other options here, Jeff. Did you know this, by the way? Serena and Venus Williams making a comeback, Jeff, at their age. One of the true icons of the sport. Both of them as sisters. If you watch the movie there, Richard Williams, the father, Compton, L.A., got them through, and they were sensational. Are we capitalizing now, Jeff, on because we don't have too many superstars left in the sport? We're like, you know what? We'll come back. We'll make more money. Get on the GLP-1s, Jeff, and away we go. The Williams sisters at their age. And by the way, you're old in women's tennis, like 25? Good Lord, they're coming back, Jeff?
Yeah, I will just say straight out of the gate, I could not care less about this. Look, I know it's summer, but what are we doing here? Tennis, for God's sakes? I mean, that said, I agree.
The back.
I guess, trying to get a late payday in their career, it's like Conor McGregor. I mean, we talked to Nolan yesterday, and he made a great point. You look at Floyd Mayweather. I think some of these people just do these things because they need money. I don't know if these women need money. I feel like they've done pretty well. They're married. They have kids. Just right off into the sunset. I'll go back again, Donnie, to the sit down. I didn't want to be the guy doing the sit down 10 years from now, at the lowest point. I wanted to go out on top. They've done their thing. They've been the face of women's tennis. Just right off into the sunset.
Yeah. No, but sometimes, Jeff, you just got to get that limelight. Bernard Hopkins keep getting in the ring until he actually got physically knocked out of the ring. Sometimes you just don't learn until it's too late, where you want to be a part of that spotlight, and away you go at this point. By the way, we also have another one up here, Jeff. OG Anunoby completely lost in the interview. Did you check this out? I think they were on, I want to say they were on GMA, on Good Morning America. And if you are partying on a bender, Jeff, for days in a row, or at least hours in a row, it's hard to show up that early in the morning here and get interviewed here. And it looked like he was like, dude, I don't know where I'm at. I don't care where I'm at. Just get me out of here and let me crack another bottle of Hennessy and have another beer and just sit back and relax, man.
That's got to be the one exhausting thing about winning a title,
man,
especially in New
everybody
York.
wants you. Yeah.
And look, I've been around the block, with doing shows for years. There would be weeks where you'll talk about the same football card 60 times.
Oh,
and it's
come on now. Been there.
I'm so tired of talking about the same things, but you have to do it. And I think he may have taken an edible maybe, and it might have been a little too much. I don't know. I don't fault him though. I mean, the kid was terrific. He's probably not slept. He's probably just trying to stay awake, and the edible. Look, you take an edible and you can't
love edibles.
You haven't slept in a while. You're going to be pretty zonked and out of it. So,
all right, Jeff, what do you like? I know you're a Stella guy out here. Do you partake it? Again, legal in the state of New Jersey and throughout a lot of parts of the country. I don't like to smoke. I do like cigars. I'll have that. I gave up drinking since I fast. It's been 3 years since I had an alcoholic beverage, which I haven't had any problem with. But you know what I do like, Jeff? I like to take an edible from time to time when I'm at home relaxing. No better state than sit back and watch a game here. Take an edible. You get the greatest night's sleep you could possibly have, Jeff. Do you partake in edibles?
No, I've never partaken. I've never smoked marijuana. I've never taken an edible. The only thing I've ever done to my body negatively was eat poorly, and I do drink. But I fast as well. No, I don't do narcotics. I never have. I have to though. I should.
And again, it's like the old school, all this stuff. And I never was cigarettes, can't stand them there. And again, you try stuff when you go through college, I understand that. But just the edible that I can just have tucked away. And also, I don't know if anybody's been in the state of New Jersey, and I don't know if it's like anywhere else, Jeff. I swear there are more dispensaries than McDonald's and fast food restaurants. Jeff, you see them 3 or 4 in a row for a mile stretch. Holy cow.
Yeah. I was driving over the Walt Whitman Bridge and I saw 3 or 4 billboards for
it's unbelievable
this
here.
Dispensary, that dispensary. There's a lot in Atlantic City too. They're on every other block, and I remember when I worked in banking, Donnie, we couldn't open bank accounts for dispensaries. I guess
correct. Yes, it was all cash. It was an all cash, and it was such an odd environment in that day, even when they started to sort of click on. But if you have I don't know, a Friendly's restaurant, which is an ice cream place, or an old Roy Rot or whatever went out of business, Like, oh, Jeff, I wonder what they're making there. Give it 6 months. It's going to be a dispensary in New Jersey. Like Route 73, which is, Bobby, a major artery through New Jersey. I swear, Jeff, they have 3 dispensaries all next to each other. It's like, who would have signed a lease to that? Like, I got to, like, you ever see like the car dealerships all next to each other? That's what we got dispensaries like here in New Jersey.
Well, this country's turning into crumble cookies and dispensaries.
Yeah.
Like some of the worst.
Insomnia
like some
cookies,
of these things,
crumble.
Like crumble cookies might be the worst thing on earth to put in your body. I mean, you look at just the type of food we eat. It's a wonder people live to their 80s and 90s in this country. I think that'll go down. I mean, the life expectancy is going to go down considerably with the way we've eaten. Crumble cookie. I mean, it's just, it's debauchery. It's gluttony at every level.
It is. Absolutely is. And by the way, I do have a couple questions here. People are shooting around here, Jeff. How about this one from Barca fan? What is Jeff's soccer record for Q&A, Jeff? Come on. That's a question. What's your World Cup? Not you since 1996.
I got to tell you, I have no idea. I don't
only a couple days in.
I don't track
by the way, what do you have today again for the people out there? Like if they're asking for your record, what do we got today?
I think what this guy's trying to do, this guy's just trying
to. Oh, he's trolling you?
What's your record? I don't know, dude. Why don't you fucking put it together? I don't know. How do I know? Don't make me get upset.
Jeff, you bet $1 and you're losing in the World Cup. You loser.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, track them. Like, what do I care? I don't sell picks. I'm doing this. Are you paying to watch this, Barca fan? I don't know you a goddamn thing.
Can we charge the subscription fee on this? No, we don't do that.
No.
All we ask, look, hit the share button, give the like, give the retweet at this point. Now, Jeff, we're coming towards the end of the show at this point, right?
Well, Donnie, this is the thing with free picks. Like,
yes,
let's say that I give out France Senegal over 2.5 today and it wins. Do you think we'll see Barca fans?
No.
Of course not.
What happens if we get like a Lionel Messi goal? Like, Jeff said no goal, Messi, and he scored a goal.
Yeah.
Bum.
They always like Friday night. They do pick against the U.S.
Yes.
I had Bosnia though. You didn't tell them that.
Yeah. Come on, always talk more about your losers than your winners. This point. Man, Jeff won 12 in a row. I put it all in the game last night. Jeff finally lost. Thanks, Jeff's 12-1, and somebody's angry at him. We get that all the time, but we do have to hype up too tomorrow, Jeff, the show that we have, because we got 3 games today in the World Cup, a full Major League Baseball slate. Next week, Jeff, some more topics to even talk about and start to bring into the equation, like the NBA draft. I know you have probably a lot of stuff talking about who should go one and who to wear as a college basketball fan. And more importantly, the U.S. Open is this week in golf. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I do want to highlight this because you got to leave them like hanging, Jeff. And I don't want you to spill the beans. But again, just get a little tidbit on what went down to Borgata, which is, by the way, my favorite hotel casino in Atlantic City. Jeff, give him a little teaser there, what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Well, I mean, time and time again.
Fighting? What were you doing?
The Borgatas embarrassed themselves at having the worst poker room in the country. It's really sad how far it's fallen. I mean, at one point, I remember you could go in there any night and get any game you wanted. Now you're waiting an hour and a half to play a 2-5 game, not a 5-10, not a 10-20, not a PLO, not a stud, a Hold'em 2-5 game. You're waiting an hour and a half. Yeah, I'll get into it tomorrow. Just a shit room. And, I wasn't told to leave the casino. I was told to leave the poker room. And I don't know if I can go back tonight. We'll see. No, good. We're going to get an update tomorrow. Obviously, that's going to be one of the hot topics that we have out there. But that draws us to the end of the show on a Tuesday, day number 2 live. Enjoy what you watch. We don't ask for much. Once again, if you're in the YouTube channel here watching live, which you are now, or if you're watching it on a replay, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave comments, come in here, enjoy, because we're going to be here for a long time. It's Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern to 1:30 p.m. Later in the summer, we're going to expand. Monster things on the horizon. We're just here to sort of dip the toes in the water, see how it is, and sort of rally the troops behind it. But that's what we're going to do. And trust me, you're going to want to be here through all out that process. Thank you for the people watching. Awesome stuff behind the scenes, making me and Jeff look and sound fantastic. Jeff on location, me at home. Big things on the way. Donnie Rightside, Jeff Nadu. This is Crossing Lines, the place to be this summer. And we will see you tomorrow.